early game and then it kind of falls off and people are like, oh, late game Lee Sin doesn't do anything. Well, 55-minute late game Lee Sin pick onto a massive carry.
Yeah,
Guess
one
what?
kick.
That ends the game.
There's the game. No, it doesn't do anything except
Not
for
that Tom Kinch.
the other 4 members of the team just might. But Tom Kinch is going to be the pickup here.
I just built up the Poppy storyline.
Well, I mean, like I just ridiculous tank meta and tanky support meta. Where are all of these 3 tanks going to go?
That is a support Tom Kinch.
Is it a support Tom Kinch?
Why would you set Tom Kinch against Malphite?
Yeah, that's pretty true. Fair enough. So
when you have a Trundle.
Yeah, very much so. This is okay. So maybe everything is going where we think it will go. We'll go with that for now. So Tom Kinch, Rise going to be the final lock.
Yeah, the cool thing about Hard Random's comp is how global present it is.
Yeah, it's pretty terrifying. You've got the Rise Sivir, the run at your face. You've got the Gragas to knock him back in. You've got the Trundle to make sure there's no way that they can back out. And the Tom Kinch, where if they ever do get on top of you,
honey,
you're getting
they've
in that
got
mouth.
two teleports right now in Rise and the top laner, and then you have Sivir for on the hunt to quickly get you across, and then you have Tom Kinch ultimate. Like the actual global presence that this ultimate or this composition has, like if you step out of line for 5 seconds, they will find you, they will run you over, and they will kill you.
Oh my god. We're calling this the Taken comp because that's you're getting your Liam Neeson on right now.
I have a particular set of skills. It's hard engaging, and I got all of
teleports.
those tools.
Lots of teleports.
And so on the other side, INTZ are like, oh god, we need to disengage.
Yeah.
We need to disengage Azir. Get him in here.
And I think in the Azir for Talkers was such a strong pick last game, and once again, if we have to talk about this over and over again, and especially now with the compositions laid out the way that they are, INTZ absolutely have to execute flawlessly this game. This is not a composition where you can idly walk into fights, where you can idly pick skirmishes, because whatever 3 members you think you're fighting, the other 2 will be there in an instant. You're never going to get the opportunity to fight on your own terms if you don't play perfectly.
No, I agree with that, but there's also, the other thing is I want to talk about the split push. Anytime you have a Trundle in there, you open up the ability to split push. Late game Trundle is super devastating. Can deal with tank top laners, obviously, because his ultimate's going to act as kind of like a free little Last Whisper. It's super fun.
It's like even better than a Last Whisper. It's super Last Whisper.
Last Whisper is not in a as terrible position as people thought it was in terms of like the math. But we'll break that down some other time.
Yeah. Well, still, we'll have to see when that itemization comes out more late game.
But it's important because you have a Trundle who could open up the potential to split push in tandem again with the Sivir, like how mobile this comp is. So yes, it's a, we're going to call it, well, I guess we'll call it a pick comp or like a global comp where everyone's got teleport, they can run really fast and get around the map really quickly, but also in a scenario where Hard Random have assets that fall behind. Say you're waiting on the item power spike of Sivir and Rise, who is traditionally 3 items for both of them, but Trundle's ahead. Trundle can continue to split push. Guess what? If you try to engage on the Sivir, she's just going to pop ultimate and run you around. And then Trundle's going to take everything from over top of you. So I like the versatility and the fact that Hard Random have multiple options with their composition.
Very much. We're going to have to see which of those options they decide to execute on as we move further into this game. Yang throwing down the sapling to get a little bit of vision. It looks like we are going to have standard 2v2 lanes, at least from what we see so far. Of course, still a minute to decide where everyone wants to end up. Kira getting cheeky, throwing in those overloads, just making sure that, just trying to get some damage down.
Macau.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how we say it?
Macau. I hope so. I feel like I every time I've got it figured out, I mispronounce it and trick myself into thinking that I've got it right that time. So
it's right this time.
Macau, Jockster, waiting in the bush, maybe hoping to catch someone out. So Yang and Revolta are now committed to taking this camp.
It just throws me off because there's a character in Xena, Warrior Princess, named Jockster.
I did not know that.
That was a deep reference.
I was like, wow, the Xena Warrior Princess references.
Well, it's fine because I think Sivir's using the Xena skin, isn't she?
It'll be good. I mean, pretty much every Sivir skin is a Xena skin, outside of like packs, right?
I can't see. Oh no, it's Victorious.
This level 1, that's definitely Kindred favored. Oh, Tom Kinch though. Just gonna walk away. Hitting that note button early on is forced to start with a less than amazing ability, but Jockster gonna miss the Flay, and that'll even out the trade there in the end.
I like the fact that he started Flay as opposed to Descendant. So you're still getting the same idea of the CC, but it's on multiple people, and he managed to get 2 of them in the initial Flay. But more importantly, by stacking up the power of your auto attack,
Yeah.
It's not working out right now, but
Yeah,
I thought the thought was
definitely,
really brilliant.
Definitely just got pretty dominated there in that trade overall. Sivir just getting really aggressive with those ricochets, and LaCrit not at all intimidated by the Thresh early game.
I just love it when Sivir starts ricochet as opposed to Q. Big fan.
I think we're at the point now where she's been around so long that people just don't make the mistake of starting Boomerang Blade anymore. The power
so
of
many people
Ricochet.
Start Boomerang Blade still, but the Ricochet gives you so much more control initially over the wave, as well as the auto attack reset.
It's so good. Good for taking towers, good for pushing waves, good for now immediately getting level 2.
Good for if you walk into 3 people.
Yeah, pretty solid. Of course, trying to predict the Ren there from Miracle. Macau not going to take the bait, so no mana given back over to the Sivir. The rest of the lanes stacking up pretty even so far. Really now in these standard lanes, we just have to keep our eyes on these junglers.
Jungler Gragas already making a back right there. So fairly early, is now walking towards his red buff. We'll see if that timing window means anything if they go to contest Scuttle Crab at the same time.
Will be, of course, maybe just playing a little bit more cautiously after he did see Revolta invade in the previous game. So opting to back for jungle item, feeling a little bit more comfortable at full health here this time around. And Revolta now pinging out the mid lane as trades are going down here. Miracle, excellent spell shield there against Jockster, blocking out that hook completely.
Here's that invade that you were talking about. Revolta has his
Here
smite.
Comes. Oh, that's not where you want to be. Poor Steos has the smite available, isn't able to secure it. That's double red buffs over to Revolta, and the man's aggression just never stops.
But he's able to make that aggressive play because Macau and Jockster have created the space to allow him to invade, since Kalista and Thresh had the better posture on bot side.
Yep, doing very well, and continuously threatening with the death sentence. Aggressive plays, and LaCrit, despite doing very well in the level 1, is not quite as impactful as he'd like to be in this bottom lane.
Likewise, Talkers also keeping Kira down on that rise, which is to be expected. So continue to see Revolta punish on the bottom side of the map. Doesn't have the same luxury on top side, which is why I think PvP is a little bit more confident in laying down deep vision on that side.
Yep, feeling comfortable walking in there. Of course, was spotted out, so Revolta moves to respond, but we'll still get the Scuttle Crab in the end. Volta will move in to clear his own camps there. Everything, once again, relatively quiet, waiting for some level 6s, waiting for some powerful spells to make a real impact here.
Every time. He's still got Spell Shield.
Play. Thunderlord's proc goes down. That's a lot of damage on a Miracle. Good dodge out on the Tongue Lash there.
And I love the adaptation from Jockster to always lead with the Flay. Typically, you want to do that on Thresh anyway because it should guarantee the death sentence. Obviously, against the Sivir, you're competing against Spell Shield, but it makes her choose.
Yeah, a tough spot to be in. You can already see how much this lane is starting to hurt as the wave will crash into the tower and the CS will start to balance out, but still going to be the lead over to Macau at the end of the day.
Hold on. PvP lining up behind Talkers here. Is locked up in a snare.
There's one snare, maybe looking for another one. Moving in. The body slam canceling a great flash as they start to push forward. Talkers is going to get locked down. The exhaust, and it's going to be enough. Primera Sangre Stejos looking back to the PvP roots.
Beautiful play from Stejos right there to flash belly bop and make sure that he interrupted Azir's travel distance. Not only that, but they also got the flash off of him, so see if they're able to capitalize on that some more as Jockster.
Oh, they want the blood, but Macau just took so much damage. Jockster's looking like a little...
They're clearing out the creep wave. He's waiting for his creep wave to come in.
Oh, there's the Flay coming out. There goes the death sentence. He's going to miss completely. Oh, what a unfortunate hook there coming in, and Miracle walks away. No problem. Great setup. Just did not quite have the execution.
Okay, so the brilliance of that is he waited for Macau to clear the creep wave in front of the tower, not only so he could get his free last hits, but more importantly, because of how far forward Miracle and LaCrit were, they would be fighting Thresh and Kalista in their own, in the enemy creep wave. So getting that extra damage. So actually, like, the planning there was awesome. The execution, not so much.
Oh, Lantern comes over the wall, and that's going to force the flash out from Miracle. Not going to land the hook once again, but it doesn't really matter because they're still able to find an advantage as Revolta puts some more pressure down on the map.
I'm going to say that's a win. Jockster's Thresh. I've been waiting for this. I heard good things, and it's living up to expectations.
I like it. Forcing plays, making sure to utilize the kit in every way possible. Lantern ganks, I feel like I haven't seen them in so long, but they're still so effective. Steos. He knows this mid lane is his home now. He's feeling comfortable. He's already belly bopped once. Looking for another.
Yeah, Talker is falling a little bit behind, but at this point he could still do Azir things and continue to neutralize the lane. If he chooses to neutralize it, though, it's pretty much giving free farm into the waiting arms of Kira, which isn't typically where you want your Ryze to end up. At least not the enemy Ryze.
Definitely not, of course. Talker's taking a decent amount of damage, but trading back, giving just as good as he gets at this stage of the game. Level 7 for Ryze, a small advantage. Courtesy of that assist. Revolta hungry for blood. Is he going to have the advantage? Oh, the Azir sec. That's the Tokyo Drift Kira, though, looking to get some blood of his own as they start to push forward. Collateral damage is available for Revolta. Are they going to be able to get this? That's going to be it. Great coordination on that kill. Smurf canceling the TP, now looking to fight Yang. No TP going to go through. End of the day, just that kill in the mid lane.
Really well played from Talkers and Revolta. I thought that maybe a slight miscommunication that Revolta wasn't immediately in the lane as the Emperor's Divide came down, but the power of Graves, and this is what we're talking about. Graves, pretty much one of the only snowball junglers that has the burst damage, just straight up 100 to 0 someone pretty instantaneously, whereas Kindred and Nidalee need a few more rotations through their abilities. Yeah,
Nidalee hitting the spear sometimes, but at the end of the day, nothing really compares to end of the line, collateral damage,
pretty much has to be,
shotgun.
Yeah, like long distance spear into immediate cat form takedown.
Yeah, a lot of counterplay options there. Whereas Graves, it's like, what do you do? You're hit, you're dead, that's it. And of course, kind of balancing out those kills in the mid lane, both junglers going to pick up there.
Run.
Little Steos, no, he's going to get knocked back. Here comes Talkers, is slowly going to get burned down. Ooh, nice moves over the wall to make it to safety there. Talkers walking away empty-handed. Steos has to get out of there, but will still secure the red.
He's being chased by the Thresh, however. So because he is so low health, it means that he has to sacrifice this blue buff. So yes, he steals the red, but he denies his mid laner's second rotation of buff.
Oh, here comes the Trundle as well. Oh, gonna steal it. No, my gosh, great pillar, but quick draw. So many dashes available. Denying these plays. Here comes the TK on the backside. Kira getting aggressive, is exhausted out, but at the end of the day, this is a great fight for Hard Random. They're gonna be able to pick up 2 kills here. Revolta running for his life, but this one, he's going down, wants something, tries to reload, gets cut off before he can even finish.
And there's that semi-global presence. Liquid coming in on the back half there. Yes, he leaves Miracle to his own devices, but Sivir's going to be fine, and INTZ, play the map. Don't skirmish against the likes of Hard Random. They have the composition and the bloodthirst to beat you.
Yeah, no fear there when it came to that engage. Knew that they could get the advantage. Knew that they had the strength to pull that one off, and it works out so well for them overall. See the advantage is starting to roll in. Of course, Sivir a little bit far behind in the CS department, but still about a 1K gold lead in the favor of the team on the back of that play.
Primary benefactor, of course, is going to be Kira on that Ryze. Yes, Gragas is now sitting 1-0 and 2, but I just think it's a little bit more important that Ryze is bypassing some of that initial weak early lane.
Definitely, and I mean, once he gets that catalyst, it just gets so easy just to, as you said, neutralize the lane, sit out there, farm up, and wait for those team fights. I did not miss Tahm Kench in the meta. The hook, not too relevant. Talker's maybe looking for a play here. Kira going forward for some trades, though, knows that he's safe.
I like the superficial tankiness, or the pseudo-tankiness coming out of Hard Random's composition. You know, you have Gragas who can augment his tankiness with his W, Trundle, Tahm Kench. They're not true tanks.
They can be if they build true tanks, but they don't need to be. They have Tahm Kench's double health bars. Ryze has the repeating shield. You've got so many options.
Cost efficient for them to be tanky because they have abilities that augment that tankiness.
Yep, solid place to be. Trundle, of course, no exception, is more than happy to just steal stats from the enemy. You know, whatever you build, I can steal. Steos, though, moving back into his own jungle. Doing pretty well for himself so far. We were concerned about how he was going to match up against Revolta. 1-0-2. Behind 10 CS, so the gold still was probably relatively even.
He is going to walk into a warded brush, so Hard Random have information that the enemy jungler is around, and immediately, INTZ, and immediately call Revolta. Here comes Tahm Kench.
Here Tahm Kench on the backside. Macau could be in trouble. There's Revolta, though, starting to get aggressive. This may not have been the fight they wanted. Fate's Call comes out. They're trying to isolate the Sivir. They're not going to get it. Here is a massive fight. Both TPs coming in. Azir cannot get there, but he is on the way down. Yang not tanky enough to survive the onslaught, and Kira going to grab the kills. Revolta using the ult to make it to safety. He is going to get stunned up, but Ryze is running out of mana. Talkers is here. Can he turn this around? Will he get the opportunity? There's the play. He's going to get knocked up, though. Tahm Kench saves the day. They picked a fight that they could not win, and despite the fact that INTZ gets a kill, Hard Random still come out on top. They're not done yet. The flash body slam. They're knocked back. What a cask! That's going to be it. More kills dropping. It's going to be Exterminato for INTZ as they get completely wiped off the map.
Disaster for INTZ. We talked about this. Don't fight hard random. Play the map. And this was frankly a poor macro decision. Excellently collapsed by hard random. But why would you ever gank the bottom lane against a double TP composition? You gank top lane because you know at least only one teleport is coming in at max, not the two. And the issue is that Talkers was late to the fight because Azir didn't take teleport.
Yeah, overall, just really commanding team fight coming in here from hard random, dominating Intz so far in the game. Intz,
this is one of my favorite points to talk about. I have to stand up.
All right.
You know exactly what it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's Azir in the teleport
Boom.
meta. So a semi-global composition like this, having the Tahm Kench, having double teleport, this was popularized by SKT at the world stage. Usually they used it in tandem with Rek'Sai as well, but this is why Shin support was contested at Worlds 2015. The reason why Azir fell out of the meta so hard after that is because he doesn't use teleport very effectively. Azir, like Gangplank, needs setup time. He can't just teleport directly into a lane and suddenly do massive amounts of damage. He teleports, hold on, gotta set up my Sand Soldier, gotta set up another one. Okay, 3, we're good to go, now we fight. Ryze, he doesn't care. He teleports down, he's gonna snare you up, he's gonna blow you up. So the counter to Azir is taking champions like Twisted Fate or taking a double teleport meta because you get so much more effectiveness out of it. And the problem for INTZ was thinking that they could gank bottom against a double TP comp.
Well, and really INTZ just trying to salvage the best they could out of a good situation is that Tahm Kench Gragas initiation was so strong. But then rather than backing off, rather than trying to force the play, they got greedy, they got over-aggressive, and they've been punished now as the gold lead for a hard random 4K this stage of the game. You told INTZ you don't need to pick fights, you need to wait. But they keep walking into these skirmishes, and it's just not in their favor. Steos spent a little bit of time in the bush, hoping to get that tree. Moving in, Yang has to burn the flash here already. Cask knocks him to the wall. Are they going to dive this one? Doesn't look like it. Wall going to stop Yang from getting knocked back.
Likewise, Jockster also hanging out in the river right there. They are on the Rift Herald, but good call from Hard Random to not dive that.
Yep, overall. ITZ going to recoup a little bit by grabbing this Rift Herald, but not too major of an advantage, especially because there's a Sivir. She's hungry for towers here on the bottom side of the map. This could be a major fumble. So you're coming over to help make up for this. Lots of damage going down either way.
They're going to half health it either way. Yang doesn't have teleport, so he has to walk down, but they need to respect Azir and Maokai coming to the side of them.
Yep, of course. 2 relatively powerful members of the team as Azir has finished.
It's just the lockdown, and they have a very far way to run. The fact that Maokai has the Twisted Advance available, yes, you can spell shield it, but he's still going to pull to your location.
Yeah, exactly, and it's rough, and of course then he just comes in, smashes you, knocks you back, and Sivir just realistically doesn't have the damage to fight both those characters. And Tahm Kench, he can eat her up, he can try to get out, but there's no way they're winning that 2v2. However, Rift Herald buff being put to good use as INTZ are going to snag this tower, evening up the turret score, but still going to be behind in gold. Now looking for the play, here comes TK, Ryze below. Hard random, not going to push on that one.
That was much cleaner played from INTZ, and that's more of what I expected. Playing the map like that, utilizing Rift Herald, seeing the counter push from Sivir and Tahm Kench bottom, and making sure to put Rift Herald on Kalista and put it into the top lane.
Oh, Tahm Kench caught out. He has to use the thick skin pretty soon here, but he's not going to be locked down, so he will be able to use it as they move forward, eating up the Kalista on the hunt burned. At the end of the day, they are going to grab that kill.
There you go. Play the map. Play with Fog of War, abuse information. INTZ, you have the tools to outmaneuver a hard engaged team. I feel like Hard Random are like a sledgehammer. Everything's a nail. If they hit you, they're going to smash you. INTZ need to play with a bit more finesse.
Opening up options for themselves now as the gold lead starts to shrink. Just minutes ago, it was 4K, now down to 2. So INTZ continue to advance. Looking solid for them so far. Still the Herald buff, allowing them to push in here with confidence. Miracle reduced to wave clear duty at this stage of the game. Pushing in towards the mid lane. Stejos once again looking for a play here.
What I was motioning at, and what's actually really brilliant, this is a very subtle thing. They have, INTZ were pushing the top lane down using the Rift Herald buff, and it gave them a cheat advantage to cut through Hard Random's jungler since they had more people on that side of the map into the mid lane and perhaps look at diving Ryze. But what was brilliant is Stejos was standing right above Ryze, expecting INTZ to cut through the jungle. So nothing happened there, but the mind games that either team were playing were actually quite mature. And even though it's so hard to explain, like even though
it shows
nothing
a very
happened,
developed sense of style
Yeah, it was
and
really
understanding of what the openings are, and you have to praise him for little things like that, because at the end of the day, we've seen the difference between a jungler being there where you need him, when you need him, and being 4 or 5 seconds late is the difference of a dead champion and an alive one. You know, those things matter in a game, especially in these tiebreaker scenarios where so much is on the line for these teams.
very subtle. I liked it.
It's good. I like little things like that. Good eye to catch it.
That moment when nothing happens, I'm like, oh, but that was brilliant.
That's how you know you're a color caster. You're like, oh, sweet. Nothing is happening right now.
I'm so excited. We're just walking around.
But in a way that's compelling. All right, Talkers. Staying even relatively in the mid lane, has a small CS advantage, but Rise with 2 kills. Relatively balance that one out. INTZ. The Jaws theme. Heralding their arrival in the mid lane.
He's trying to look delicious. I'm high in fiber. Fried chicken. Here we go.
Gotcha! Not. There's the flash. Jockster moving in. He's going to miss the hook, but the exhaust goes down. They're committed onto Kira. Have they overstayed their welcome? Tom Kench is on the backside. Stayhost ready to fight, but it looks like Hard Random absolutely gotten outplayed. Excellent little movement there from INTZ.
Baited and outsmarted. Fried chicken there looked too delicious. And Kira decided to pull the trigger, and it will mean the mid-tier tower. INTZ, this is what I wanted. You can't outfight Hard Random, but you can outthink them.
Yeah, Grave Lord Azir, that chicken, pretty rotten. Not one that you want to be getting. Start to move in. Excellent play coming in here from INTZ. The gold already balanced out. The minor difference here, not even 1K. 800 in the favor of Hard Random. INTZ, this is the play we wanted to see, and they're already adjusting their play style mid-game. Very promising for a team moving into best of 5s in the future. TP from Rise? Oh, Talkers, they do want the chicken. They're never going to give it up. Emperor's Divide used, Flash burned. Just has barely enough mana to give it out there.
But some overconfidence coming out of Talkers. Good response from Hard Random. They force out the flash. That can be very easily punished in the future, especially because PvP didn't give up anything in return, and a good consolidation of their resources into the mid lane. They're looking to chip down this tower.
Pushing forward now. Get this one, Wills. Once again, give them a gold advantage over INTZ, something they desperately need.
See, the big thing is that they forced Azir back, and it's just that time of forcing the flash and the Emperor's Divide, that small window where he wasn't initially back and already walking to his tower, that they caught them out of position. So great adaptation from Hard Random.
Good punishment, and of course, going to make it that much easier to take down the mid lane turret. If one more mistake comes out of INTZ, that's really all it's going to take to shift the gold once again in their favor.
Bye, Harold.
El Harrido. I apologize for my terrible Spanish, by the way. I definitely said exterminado, and it's like extermino, or I don't even know. I butchered it completely. If you are a Spanish speaker, I apologize. Thank you for putting up with my attempts at keeping up with your client's
Sifa,
terminology.
What does that mean?
That says vivo, Frosco. It says vivo. I think it means live.
It doesn't mean Baron.
The picture says Baron. The word says live.
Another free objective for INTZ, though. They're just mowing through the map at this point and finally securing their gold lead by just about 300. So playing from behind, recouping their loss as well, and Hard Random now on the back foot.
Gearing up for a fight as well. That's 4 members of Hard Random. Yang looking for an engage opportunity. Lecrit off to the side and getting burned down quite quickly. Azir isn't even on the way, but Yang is acting as an excellent frontliner. Lecrit finally going to have to use that thick skin. Going to be a major cooldown, but Macau is suddenly caught in the back line. An excellent cast is going to turn this fight in the favor of Hard Random, but flashed out from Miracle as Azir collapses. Great turnaround from INTZ, but suddenly Talkers is all alone. Miracle looking to rip through that health bar. Lecrit maybe overstaying his welcome, but Kira, the killer that they need to take down these members. Hook's going to miss. Yang is sure to drop now. Hard Random may continue to chase as Revolta potentially overstaying his welcome on this red buff. Starting to back off. There comes the movement speed steroid. Dark Passage going to save him. Great fight from both sides, actually. I think that is the 2 for 2, 2 for 3, actually, in the favor of Hard Random.
And any gold lead that had just been recouped by INTZ over the last 3 to 5 minutes has completely disappeared in a single 4v5, mind you, against Hard Random. Kira was late to that fight. Why do you fight them? They're so good at it.
They are the execution there was just so great.
And
amazing explosive cast.
Is INTZ are good at team fighting too. It just kind of speaks to the level of when you have the top tier teams from all of these different regions comparing against each other.
It's interesting. Interesting to watch, of course. INTZ now posturing around the dragon, potentially gearing up for another fight. Seemingly the pit is the fight night arena as both teams looking for an opportunity to go in. Has to burn the flash though. Steos getting caught up. Tom Kench says no. More than happy to have a snack in this case. There's the TP from behind. Yang going to go in. The TP could be late, though. Smurf looking for an opportunity. The Trundle is getting burned through, finally able to steal out some resistances. Jockster low. The team is split up. Macau not having the opportunity to dish out the damage, but Yank is doing such a good job of tanking as they start to back off. Kira, hungry for blood, flashes in to get the kill, but has he overstepped? Starts to push in. Emperor's Divide to isolate the team. Macau left all alone. This Rise is unkillable. The team is split up. Hard Random absolutely crushing the team fight. INTZ with a consolation prize on that kill, but Jockster could be Nest. This Tom Kench is fearless. They have a lot of damage, but they don't have the health left to fight this. They're pushing in for more. Tom Kench saves the day. Azir has to run. Revolta could be in trouble. Slowly pushing forward. Hard Random are gods of team fighting.
Kira just destroyed that team fight. He sidestepped so much of the Azir damage, initially stepping underneath the initial engage from Talkers by dodging a lot of Sand Soldiers, and then sidesteps again the Emperor's Divide. It was a really good counter engage from Jockster to finally line up the Death Sentence on Kira and pull him down, but too little too late as Revolta is now caught between a rock and possibly a frog. Definitely
a frog,
Trundle pillar.
Maybe a hard place in the form of a pillar. Revolta just going to skirt his way out there. Tom Kench decides to back off.
God.
Oh my god, that's never what you want to see. Rise faster than lightning. Revolta doomed to die. Steos making some interesting choices with his life.
He got the dragon. They got the kill and the dragon.
Here he goes. Miracle coming over the wall. Locking to the Iron Solari, trying to dish out some damage. It's
oh
going to
my
make
God.
it what? Hard Random. Amazing fights left and right, getting everything.
But there's no reason for INTZ to be fighting them right now. This is... Okay, that was beautiful. Not only do they get the pick by a fantastic teleport from Kira, who's just like a race car out of nowhere,
zoom, baby.
But Seho steals the dragon, uses the shield proc to survive the burst damage, and then just pops over the other side of the wall. Meanwhile, top lane, Smurf's like, thanks for the free tower, mates.
Got him. And now we're moving forward. It's going to be the 4K, or once again, reestablishing that 4K advantage for Hard Random. A little bit less in this case. We may look to extend it more. Kira, an absolute terror. The itemization for him continues to develop. Fully stacked Rod of Ages. Seraph's Embrace as well. Moving forward in this game. And INTZ hurting. They keep picking these fights. They keep trying to handle the opposition, but they're getting outfought left and right. And Smurf, I feel like we haven't looked at this guy at all. This Trundle's 5-0-8.
I told you, if Trundle gets ahead, it opens up the split push option, and Hard Random's composition. At this point, just because they've acquired so much gold across really key members, particularly Rise and Trundle, you almost can't even afford to try to 5v4 that. And if it's ever a 5v4 that they don't like, they just pop the On the Hunt, disengage, and buy time for Smurf to continue to take free towers. But this guy is massive, and he's going to acquire multiple resources from INTZ to take down, which just means that Sivir gets to push free.
Yeah, so much power. Kira now split pushing as well. There's not really a whole lot they can do. You can see how comfortable that Trundle is. Throws out a pillar to stop any pressure onto him. Walks away. He'll be back to that creep wave soon enough. Kira once again posturing around this bottom side. Graves and Thresh maybe wanting to peek in here, but are just playing so scared.
That Rise is massive.
That's terrifying. The Trundle's massive.
He's so far ahead of the clock, too. Look at the MR available. You don't have a completed Locket. You just have the Aegis. On the top side, you have QSS and Spectre's Cowl, as well as some Merc Treads. But it's not like there's an online Spirit Visage. You don't have the Locket or the Iron Solari. So Rise doesn't need to depend on the third item of the Void Staff. This guy is doing massive damage right now, and it's only going to get worse once he has that penetration.
This continues to get scarier and scarier on the side of INTZ. Now making it their way to the tiebreaker match. Not maybe where they expected to be, but they keep taking bad fights, and Hard Random more than happy to punish them for it because they just keep out-executing here. This is... we expected if INTZ could execute methodically that they'd be able to do well, but Hard Random just aren't giving them the opportunity anymore. Whoa, that's a... Okay. Every time that mouth opens, I'm like, who's going in?
They were all looking for it.
Tom Kench. Pretty terrifying pick. Pretty solid indicator of the global pressure that this team has, as we talked about in Champion Select, and just very well used.
It makes so much sense against a team like INTZ, who had just showed that they can play the map around Saigon Jokers, to immediately take a composition that will compensate for inability to play macro as cleanly as you would like. So, like, this composition, not only does it have supreme 5v5 and fight kill, or fight power, as well as pick potential, But also, if INTZ ever try to start out-rotating them, it compensates for that. You're slow to a rotation, on the hunt. I'm there in time.
And if we look back to pick ban phase, I feel like this was the plan for Hard Random all along. They banned the TF away from Talkers. It feels like they wanted to take away the only champion that could match that level of global mobility, because there's just no option for INTZ to respond here whatsoever with this Azir pick.
It's a very cool composition, and they're executing it very well. So see if they can close it out, or if INTZ can crawl their way back. Again, they did fight from a gold deficit earlier on, made some smart map choices, and got their foot back in the door. They do have Kalista, so their Kalista as well as Azir, so their Baron control is phenomenal.
Definitely something we have to look towards, especially as we start to approach the 30-minute mark. 50K for Hard Random, 45.8 on the side of INTZ. 2 Dragons for Hard Random as well, so getting those small objective advantages when they can. And Smurf now looking towards that split push pressure, but Jockster spotted out by the Scuttle Crab. They can try to collapse here, but honestly, Trundle might just be able to kill everybody. This guy is so strong right now.
See what we're going to have happen. Hard Random have complete control over the Baron area. Is that a TP?
Oh, that's a home guard TP coming in from the Rise. That's one dead Kalista. There's no hope. There's no way. No, there is a way, and it's called Dark Passage.
Really he's still not out of the woods yet.
Lantern's taking him to safety.
He's got a Trundle Pillar.
Not going to find the opportunity to engage Jockster. I don't know if that was foresight or blind luck, but at the end of the day, all of the cooldowns burned on the side of Hard Random, or most of the major ones.
This is a race now. They're going to push the top tier tower, but meanwhile, INTZ have the short route onto mid-tier tower. They have to recall. This is a great rotation from INTZ.
You can see the pings coming out. Hard Random want to commit. This is going to be the base race onto towers.
Why are you base racing against an Azir?
No, you just cannot do it. And at the end of the day, INTZ waiting for an opening, and this might just be it. They take down the tier 2. Are they going to take down the inhibitor as well? The recalls are coming out. It's too late. INTZ are going to get the tower. INTZ are going to get the inhibitor. A massive fumble for Hard Random. They had everything that they needed, and they threw it away.
You can out-think Hard Random. INTZ showing this over and over again. They're going to try to trade it inhib for inhib, but INTZ are still going.
Looking maybe to end the game? Could this be how the game ends? Finally,
no.
the backs
Back
are coming
up,
out.
go to Baron.
They have
go to Baron or go
here.
to Dragon. Pick one. They need to go to Baron, at least place Vision, preferably once the Crab. Oh my god.
Oh my god, Hard Random. Maybe we were wrong. Maybe it was INTZ that picked the wrong choice, because they do not have the opportunity to recall anymore. No backs are safe. TP being burned to try to save this, but that's the 2 strongest members of Hard Random looking to defend. Tower goes down. There's no way Yang can stop this. Can they even back at this stage of the game? Azir makes a tower to try to secure the end. Smurf is unkillable. Hard Random are going to end the game 29 minutes in. They don't even have to fight for it. It's handed to them on a silver platter. Hard Random advance to face Supermassive.
Okay, first and foremost, I want to clarify something. The mid lane is the shorter lane. It is much easier to push down quickly. You had Azir as well as Graves. Yes, Trundle is phenomenal at pushing, but the primary mistake, like INTZ picking the mid lane, trading inhib for inhib, that's totally worth. Because Hard Random are ahead in gold, so you can't fight them. So if you can ever trade inhib for an inhib, and you're behind, excellent, perfect, mint. The problem is INTZ chose to continue to stay after the inhib had gone down. If they had immediately backed, completely different game. But Hard Random, we talked about this, the confidence that that team has to just make the crazy call and to continue pushing with such a massive Trundle under that much pressure against a region who has long been standing the best of the wildcard regions. Like Brazil and Turkey have long stood up as the strongest ones. That was massive. We call the LCL kind of the rising wildcard region, and Hard Random just proved that in one fell swoop.
I mean, honestly, I'm stunned. It's so rarely that we see a game end with this level of confident decision-making. INTZ to push down the mid lane, to opt for this trade, to look for what they think could be a boon and an advantage. And I thought when I saw 3 members backing, I was like, INTZ, you've got this. They're going to get the inhibitor. They're going to walk out unscathed. But then Trundle Rise, both of whom are incredibly strong. No one can stop them. No one can back on the opposite tide, too, because, like, what are you going to do? How are you going to stop? The Sivir runs at you. You've got the Tom Kent to interrupt your backs.
Exactly. It was the fact that the backs didn't go through. If they had, it would have been fine. But that was, like, so well played. It looked like for sure that INTZ had the better, because again, they have the better decision. They're behind in gold. They can't 5v5. So if they can trade inhib for inhib, especially the mid inhib, because that'll give you more control over the map, phenomenal. But the reaction from Hard Random in a split second, beautiful.
I
That was
am
cool.
still completely stunned. Absolutely fantastic play coming in from Hard Random. Intz to make a bold, decisive move, but it works against them as at the end of the day, Hard Random outsmart them, outperform them, execute their team.
Outsmart them and outfought them.
Yeah, at every turn, Hard Random very much deserved the chance here to go up against Supermassive. This will decide, of course, our next match, who is going to be the first seed moving forward, and I don't know anymore. I have so many ideas of what I expect from games, and never has it ever been 30-minute base race.
Well, the rising star of the LCL have taken down kind of the big, long-standing wildcard region in Brazil, and now they get to go through Turkey. So they could solidify themselves on their throne of come at us.
Yeah, IWCI champions are moving. To be fair, there's still a bracket stage left. There's a lot of opportunities for these teams to adapt and change their strategy coming into a best of 5, but to finish the regular stage like this, to finish the regular stage at the top, and then to win the tiebreakers on your way to that first seed, everyone playing against this team, or everyone who will play against this team, semifinals or finals, if they can make it that far, has to be scared. Because that team fighting performance, pick ban-wise, I felt like every part of that game was so well executed. Pre-game in the pick ban, in-game in the execution, and in that crucial moment where they could have lost everything, they had the confidence to make a bold call, a risky call, a potentially risky call, and
super risky call.
Yeah, if they die there, they lose Baron, right? And then it's game over potentially.
Yep.
And
you never want to trade objectives as the team that's ahead. That's kind of like the #1 rule, that if the team that is behind ever trades an objective, that you did something wrong, because you're stronger in the 5v5, so you should always place the enemy team in a position where they have to fight you to take anything, because you're just going to kill them anyway. So it's a super bold and risky call, especially on the elongated lane, but knowing that they had the confidence to make the advantage, backing the appropriate members to stall out INTZ and keeping Trundle and Rise up there.
Yeah, and of course, INTZ will get the 3rd seed in our playoff bracket. However, the 1st and 2nd seed remain to be decided as Supermassive and, why am I blanking? Hard Random, the team that just played, will go head-to-head in our next match. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen, as we move to a short break.